Hi there. So today I'm just going to talk about building work ethic through this book. My friend Dexter Daniels wrote this book. It's called Consistent, Not Different. Sorry, it's backwards. And it just talks about, essentially how to use consistency to become successful. And there's a part in here that was really revolutionary for me. And he talks about the white belt work ethic. I wanted to share that with everybody to show how I'm going to use this sticks method to build up work ethic and use it as a model to carry through with all of the habits that I would like to form. And maybe this will be effective for you. On top of that, I have an offer to a accountability mastermind that I'm going to follow up with. Now, essentially, is a group of people that come together and share their goals for the upcoming week and their overall top 5 goals for the year. And then we tailor our discussion for the feedback along those goals, right? So what went great the last week, what we're planning for this week, and then who gets the hot seat, where the whole group comes together and offers feedback to that person's goals, how they relate to their top 5 for the year, all that kind of stuff. So sometimes people really want and need a group to hold them accountable. Not that they can't accomplish things, but it does help to get people to come together. And so I'm actually offering that right now. Members are able to join us for free, right? And it's just an hour on Saturdays. This would be 10 a.m. Central Time. Right? And if that sounds like something that you want or could benefit from, let me know. Send me a message. I am happy to bring you in to this exclusive group, iron sharpens iron type of thing. That is, again, a free offer. Just send me a direct message and I'll get you in the group at 10 a.m. The sooner you let me know, the better, because there's 2 activities I need you to perform. That takes you about 20 minutes so you can start and hit the ground running with the rest of us. Without further ado, I'm going to read White Belt Work Ethic Method. Very powerful stuff. If you have a pen and paper, I would take notes. Have you ever been sick and tired of being sick and tired? I was tired and pinpointed my problem to work ethic. After that, I created the White Belt Work Ethic Program. This is when I used a martial arts approach to improving my work ethic. I knew that motivation alone would not be enough to fix it. In jiu-jitsu, we usually start off by stretching and warming up. Then we work on different moves step by step. Lastly, we reinforce and test what we've learned by rolling. A roll is where we spar for about 5 minutes at a time. Then we switch partners and usually do about 3 rounds. There are days when I could train for 10 plus rounds. I knew to work on my work ethic, I would have to apply the concept of rolls, putting in the work over and over again. Another reason I wanted to start the system was to help me become more consistent. As I reflected on my life, I realized that there were many times that I started something good, but then stopped for some reason. Have you ever done that? I did that many times. The bad part is that I had to really search my memory to find out why I stopped and even what I stopped. What I realized is that sometimes we stopped not because our work ethic is weak, but because we just forgot. So to help you remember, you need a good system in place. The White Belt Work Ethic system allowed me to focus on the practice of the same skills about 45 days at a time. The system includes appropriately balanced breaks. This was a huge win in the battle for my attention, for your attention, right? So including breaks into the system itself allows us to not fall off. It enabled me to keep focused on the important things and deliberately work to improve them. So this is the White Belt Work Ethic system. I created a criteria for how to go up to the different belts. It follows the same belt system as jiu-jitsu. So white, blue, purple, brown, and then black. The main concept is to improve your ability to focus on one task for a certain amount of time. For white belts, it's about 15 minutes. For blue belts, 45 minutes. For purple, 3 hours. For brown, 8 hours. And then black is 20 hours. The layout of the system is simple. You come up with a daily list of tasks. These tasks should include things that take less than and longer than 15 minutes. They could be just things that require focus, like writing a book, practicing a sport, playing chess, or doing videos. Once you have a list of tasks, you want to determine the minimum amount of time you want to spend on each task per day. I schedule these tasks daily very differently. I will do 3 days back to back with each required time decreasing some. This is because motivation is like a muscle and wears off after a while. So on day 1, each task is 20 minutes. Then day 2 is 15, and day 3 is 5. After each 3-day set, I alternated between taking 1 day and 2 days off of the system. A 3-day set is called a stick. This is to not get fixed into a weekly calendar schedule that does not provide variety. So your worst days won't be on every weekend. Then one complete cycle of training is a set of 10 sticks. So within 45 days, you will get a complete 30 days of deliberate practice with adequate rest. Again, the purpose is to keep track of your decisions, things you actively want to improve upon, and build up your work ethic. So track our progress in a visible way, right? I use journals. I use handwritten things that I tack to the wall, right? I prefer writing it down and placing it on the wall so that you can see Where did I learn it from? So you can see it and interact with it every day. It is fine not to check off all the daily items. If you missed something, guess what? This is real life. It happens. The goal is to build your work ethic and not forget about the things you're working on. Not to be perfect. You can check them off or whatever helps you visually. Regardless of how good or bad I do, I make it a point to complete each cycle. 10 sticks. So complete the full cycle before changing any of my daily tasks. Remember, sometimes it's often not what we do differently, but what we do consistently. Often, we just need more time before we start seeing results. So we don't quit before we start seeing results. The time after each stick will allow you to decide if you should tweak or continue. I know about the 21 days to make a habit. However, many people do not have the current work ethic to just do the same thing for 21 days and then hope it becomes a habit. The thought of failing scares some people enough to not even try. This system has breaks and is lenient. However, the hours we put in trying is what builds you up. Depending on your belt level, you can put in a solid 15 minutes of work, meaning that your work ethic is at that level. 15 minutes every day can add up to something wonderful. Don't despise the small beginnings. We're going to do 10 sticks. That's 45 days. We're going to find things that we want to improve on. For me, I want to do daily exercise, journaling, and meditation. I also want to be studying every day certain things in law and in equity. I also want to be building up my general contracting and consulting business. The addiction recovery system is part of that. And part of that recovery system has an accountability mastermind within it. I'm already running an accountability mastermind and I'm bringing people in and it's an open invitation. If you have an hour on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Central Time, we would love to have you. We will all agree on captains and we'll have groups of 4. Right now we have a group of 4. I'm bringing more people in. So if you want people to grow and push you to success, I found no better way than an accountability mastermind. The reconnection method, there is a waiting list. I'm going to have this thing. My launch date is hopefully July 1st. That's the announcements I have for today. Be sure and check out, I think I got this on Amazon. In fact, I know I did. This is Dexter Daniels, Consistent, Not Different, a Marine who knows how to push somebody into success by consistency. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. I hope this was helpful for you. Take care, and we will see you at the top.